Hello everybody, my name is Votonymous. Welcome back to yet another tier list video. Before we get started, if you like the video, please hit it with a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. But today I'm going to be rehashing all of the survivors in Evil Dead the game. And now that the game has been out for a little bit and I've gotten to really play it, I really have an understanding of at least 90% of these characters now, especially since not only have I played them, but I've gone against them too. So I'm going to be redoing this tier list. Some things will stay the same, some things will be different. Some people are higher than I once had them, and some people are lower than I once had them. So let's get right into it. So I will try to be going in the same order I went in last time. Hopefully I remember what that is. And we're going to start with Ash Williams from Ash vs. Evil Dead. Last time I put him in decent. I thought he was a pretty okay character to start out with, especially for a leader. So this is actually one of the characters I got to level 25 so far. And I think I'm having fun with him. I think he's a fun character. Unfortunately, I don't really feel the difference in his aura reading ability, which is it's supposed to help out with fear levels, and it's supposed to give your teammates extra damage inflict. I'm not really feeling it. I don't see much of a difference, quite honestly, but I think he's fun. I like his chainsaw that he starts out with. His main ability is fine. I don't know. Last time I put him in decent, I honestly think that he stays in decent. I would put him in meh, just because I'm not really feeling his effects of his aura, but maybe it actually is there. I don't know. I'd like to think it's actually there, or I'm just playing incorrectly. I don't know, but I feel like he's fine. I feel like what he does is okay, and hopefully it does actually do something. I don't feel like it's doing a whole lot, especially with the whole fear stuff. I still get teammates who get possessed fairly quickly. Maybe they're just not sticking around me, but I feel like I agree with my past self. I still think he's a decent character. Okay, so next up is Knowby. I don't see a lot of people play Knowby, first of all, and I'll say this for Ash versus Evil Dead Ash. I don't see a lot of people play him either. I see more people play him than Annie, but I don't see a lot of Annie players, which is weird, because going back to seeing what she does, she actually isn't that bad. I mean, every single thing she does has to do with, like, an aura, other than her main ability, but as long as you stick by her, you get to do a lot of different things. It's supposed to help with ranged weapons and balance bar for the enemies, and no one really uses her. I've played her a little bit. I haven't gotten her a high enough level, so I haven't experienced her other two perks yet, but I feel like it's odd because I feel like what she has to offer isn't that bad, but people don't really use her. She's obviously not really in the meta. And honestly, I don't think she'd be that annoying to go up against, but I think what she does is pretty alright. All I know is her stamina sucks. But I honestly, I feel like I agree with my past self once again, and I'm going to put her in decent. I feel like what she has to offer isn't bad. It's not groundbreaking, and a lot of people aren't using her, but I feel like if you give her a shot, she'll be fine. I feel like she'll be decent enough support. Okay, so I believe next was Lord Arthur. Yeah, that's about right. What do you really want me to say? He's busted. He absolutely just is. His main ability is annoying to go up against, and he's super strong, and he makes everybody else stronger. So it's kind of annoying. He's kind of annoying. He's the best leader in the game. Easily, like, he's way better than these two. So yeah, I agree with my past self once again. He is, like, really annoying. Alright, next up is Ash Williams from Army of Darkness. So I think last time I put him in good. I see this man all the time. Along with Lord Arthur, by the way. A lot of people use him. And the only reason why other people don't use him is probably because they don't have him unlocked yet. But I see Army of Darkness Ash a lot. And I have seen him solo a high-level boss by himself. He's also soloed me as a high-level boss by himself, which is really annoying, but I am gonna have to say he is high up there. He is groovy. I really did kind of underestimate him. Not a whole bunch, because I did know his worth. I put him in good, but I did underestimate him a little bit because, holy crap, man. His first two perks alone are really annoying. Especially Finish Strong is annoying, because you don't even need to get any amulets. And then it goes very perfectly with his first perk. And then, you know, Weapon Mastery is basically bullshit, because it makes that weapon really, really good. So the chainsaw is nuts. And he's already a very strong character with melee, so... And then, yeah, his main ability is annoying. It absolutely is, so... He's top tier. He's fantastic. Scotty is next. That's kind of funny. I don't see a lot of Scotty players either. Probably because he's the worst warrior in the game. I think last time I put him in decent. So, I haven't really gone up against a Scotty, nor have I had a teammate that was a Scotty. Maybe like once or twice. Funny enough, I see Eds more than I see Scotties. In theory, I don't think his, like, perks are bad. And I don't think his main ability is bad. I think collateral damage is a fine perk. I think that the Weapon Master of the Lumberjack Axe is pretty good because Lumberjack Axe itself is an absolute nutty weapon. It's so busted. Like, it's actually, the axe is fantastic. So being a Weapon Master of that is really nuts. Like I said, I think collateral damage is a really good perk. But funny enough, no one really uses him. I put him in decent before. I'm thinking about putting him in meh this time because he's just not... He's been bested by the other warriors, and so far in this meta, he's not fitting. But I don't think what he has to offer is bad. Funny enough, I don't think it's bad at all. You know, I am just gonna keep him in decent. I'm gonna keep him there because I think what he has to offer is fine. I really do. It's just... It's unfortunate because he's... You know, why would you pick Scotty when you could pick Army of Darkness Ash? You know what I mean? Or Henry the Red. So, it's unfortunate for Scotty, but I'll keep him in decent. I don't think he's bad in theory. Alright, up next is Henry the Red. Looking at his stuff, I've gone up against some Henry the Reds. I've also been with a bunch of Henry the Reds. And I gotta tell you, so there was one time where I was downed, and this Henry actually did a really smart big brain move. He used his main ability to pick me up. There was a boss around, and the boss was trying to attack him, but didn't do anything because of his main ability. So it's a good main ability. He's a good character. I think everything he has to offer is very good. But he doesn't solo bosses like Ash does. So looking at, like, the warrior category, he's better than Scotty. But at this point, I think I've changed my mind. I think Henry the Red is still a good character, but I think he's not top tier. I think Ash is actually better than Henry the Red after going up against them and being their teammates and, like, actually playing Ash himself once. Henry the Red is not as good as Ash, but he's still a great character. That's all I really have to say. He's better than Scotty in my opinion, but I'll keep him in good. I think what he has to offer is almost busted. If he was stronger, I would have put him in groovy. So now we go on to the hunter category, And we're starting out with my personal main, Evil Dead 2 Ash. I love this character. I absolutely love this character. I have easily melted level 1 and level 2 bosses' healths down completely because of the double barrel and the mastery of the double barrel. I saw someone say something like that the double barrel isn't a good weapon. I think the double barrel is a fine weapon, and being a weapon master of the double barrel really helps, because even with just a common double barrel, you easily... Oh, level 1 bosses, forget it. You're gonna completely melt them with the double barrel. Level 2, I even do a really good job with the double barrel. It's after level 2 that you just be helping out. You can't really solo the boss at that point. And if you find a rare or epic or legendary double barrel, makes it even better. So I wouldn't switch out the double barrel at all if you're playing Evil Dead 2 Ash because of the mastery, because the common double barrel alone is very good, and if you can switch it out for a higher rarity, absolutely do it, because you'll do even better than before. Also, his perk with the chests, I said last time it wasn't really that useful. Now this time, I'm saying it's very useful. I would get him fully leveled up with Pink F almost every single game because of that perk. And without it, playing other characters feels weird, and I feel naked because I don't fully max them out all the time. Like, it's almost like every game I don't max them out. It's only like a rare occasion where I do max their Pink F out. But Evil Dead 2 Ash is the exact opposite because of that chest perk. And his main ability, where he unpossesses a teammate or a basic unit, is fantastic, and I've used it many, many times. I think he's fantastic. I think he's great. Honestly, I'd put him in Groovy. Now, that's not a bias or anything because he's my main. It's simply because I think he's honestly fantastic. I think he's a really, really good character. I think every single perk fits. I think starting out with the double barrel is really good, and it saves time. The double barrel itself is a very decent and very fine weapon. And then being the weapon master of it is fantastic. It makes it a really good weapon. So, I think he's great all around. Definitely would put him in Groovy. So next we have Ed Getley. Now, I have seen a few Ed Getley in my lifetime. But I think that that's only because people were memeing. Because this guy is shit. He's evil. I don't care. He's worse than what I thought. I don't think he's that good, quite honestly. People can come at me. I don't care. Do it. Come at me. So, I don't see anybody use his main ability correctly. I guess I'm just running into people who just really don't care and suck with the character, because I don't see any of this. So the main ability I've never seen used once. And I've never, I've went up against an Ed Getley when I was a demon. He didn't do jack shit. So, I don't know. I mean, his main ability is whatever. I haven't even seen it done yet. His first perk is also whatever. The crossbow is an okay weapon. I think the crossbow is fine, so being a weapon master of it is pretty decent. Also, I find legendary crossbows almost all the time, so hooray for Ed mains, because it's pretty easy to find those suckers. And then the collector dropping an item, I don't care. I really don't. And then, yeah, finding crates with higher rarity, but I don't think it matters. I don't care. I've been doing just fine without all of it, and every time I see anybody play Ed, they don't do what Ed is supposed to do. That, or he just is that bad. So yeah, I think he's pretty evil. Now, I know that there are some Ed fans out there that will disagree and will say he's really good and can solo, whatever, yada yada. I'd like to see it. Please send me a clip of you, completely destroying the demon as Ed Getley. Please do it. Until then, I really think he's bad. So, I'll put him in evil. He's bad. He's a meme character, quite honestly. So, There you have it. Alright, man. Next up is Kelly. She kind of disappoints me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Look. Her main ability is fine. I like it. I think it's good. Not using stamina when dodging, and then range attacks cause bleeding damage to your target for a short period. Sure, that's fine. Great. And then counter shot kind of complements it a little bit because of successfully dodging inflicts bleeding damage on your target. So like they kind of like go hand in hand together. So that's nice. And battle frenzy isn't bad either. Melee damage increases the longer you are in sustained combat. Here's the problem. Weapon Master Meat Hammer. Why? Why did you make Meat Hammer such a bad weapon? It's actually really bad. I don't like it. I think the Meat Hammer is probably one of the weakest melee weapons, if I'm not mistaken. One of. There's probably something right below it. I know the Spear is bad, but the Meat Hammer isn't too great itself. I know being a weapon master of it makes it better, but a common Meat Hammer is so bad. A rare Meat Hammer is still pretty bad, and I haven't even seen, like, an epic or legendary Meat Hammer yet. I've seen a legendary pickaxe, and a Meat Hammer, I think, is supposed to be a little bit worse than the pickaxe. And the legendary pickaxe doesn't really look too great. So, seeing a legendary Meat Hammer, it's probably underwhelming. I mean, maybe if you get, like, a legendary Meat Hammer, and then you're the weapon master of the Meat Hammer, and then along with Battle Frenzy, it'll make the Meat Hammer a god tier weapon, and Kelly's really good with the Meat Hammer. It's fantastic, but I feel like giving her a weapon master of a pretty subpar melee weapon is kind of doo-doo. Not to mention, that's her base perk. So you have to get to level 25 in order to get to Battle Frenzy, which will support Meat Hammer a little bit more. So you can't really do a lot of good things with the Meat Hammer until you hit level 25. So I think Kelly, especially before hitting level 10, I think Kelly's kind of dog water. After hitting level 10, she's a little bit more worth it, and then when you get her to 25, she'll be fine. I don't know. I'm actually gonna put her in meh. I think her main ability's the saving grace, quite honestly. Everything else is kind of just subpar. I really want to get her to level 25 myself and see how much a common Meat Hammer does with the Meat Hammer Mastery and the last perk making the melee damage better. I'd like to see that, but man, I've seen a few people play Kelly, but that's probably because Kelly's a beloved character. Otherwise, I don't really think she has much to offer, unfortunately. Alright, we have Amanda now. So last time I put Amanda in Groovy. I still think everything about her is fantastic. I still think her main ability is really good. I still think starting out with a pistol and then being a weapon master of a pistol is really good. And I think accuracy counts is a very good perk to go along with the main ability. However, the pistol's a fine weapon, but it's not as good as Ash's double barrel. I'm gonna put her in good. I'd put her like top tier good. I think I'm gonna demote her a little bit. She's still a fantastic character. I think she's great. But I've switched my mindset on Evil Dead 2 Ash and Amanda. I think they're swapped. Which, you know, still, Amanda, I think she's great, and I'd still love to play her more, and that's absolutely fine. And I don't think anybody would get mad at anybody picking Amanda, especially if they need somebody with range support. She's the person to go to for that, because my god, she'll wreck people with her pistol. But I think that Ash is a little bit better now. I think Evil Dead 2 Ash is a little bit better than Amanda. But Amanda's still really good character. Supports are my favorite topic. Because in my last tier list video, people had a lot of different opinions about a lot of different things. Not so much Cheryl, but some people disagreed with my Ash Williams from Evil Dead 1 placement. And a lot of people disagreed with my Pablo placement. So I'm gonna rehash my opinion, and you guys can see if it changed or not. So Evil Dead 1 Ash, right? I think his main ability is really useful and really good, especially when you are trying to get the dagger and the pages of the Necronomicon. I think absolutely useful main ability. His first perk is also really useful, and it does a lot, actually. It goes a long way as well, and I think the game's a little bit bugged, because whenever someone's doing a finisher on any Deadite, as Evil Dead 1 Ash, you could still attack that Deadite that's getting finished with the heavy attack, and you could still give everybody health. So, like, I don't know if that's, like, a glitch, or if that's meant to be like that, but that's pretty good, so hopefully that doesn't get patched. The marked targets are probably really good when you're in a game with people that you know, and you have communication. If you're solo queuing, the marked targets suck, because how in the blue hell is someone going to know that you're doing the marked target nonsense? So, honestly, yeah, sure, get Evil Dead 1 Ash level 25 just to get, like, the stuff on the skill tree. But the marked target stuff don't really matter, in my opinion. So, I put him in good last time. I'm going to put him in good again, just because of the first two things. Maybe his marked target stuff will get buffed at some point, but I don't think they're really that useful right now. Okay, next up is Cheryl. I don't even need to explain. I don't feel like I need to explain. I feel like everybody in the Evil Dead community just kind of knows that she's the best support in the game. Her main ability's busted. It really is. I mean, it's so useful. It's so helpful. It's so annoying, too. Especially if you're playing as the demon. And then everything with the Shemps is, yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. So, I mean, there's nothing to really say other than she's still just as good as I thought she was going to be. Her and Lord Arthur are still just as great as I thought they were going to be. It seems like everybody else kind of shifted. I'll get more into that when I'm said and done with everything, because we still have one more character to go. But yeah, I think Cheryl is just as good as I thought she was, if not even more annoying now that I've played way more games as the demon. I hate her. So, yeah, she's still groovy. Let's go, Pablo! Everybody hated my opinion on Pablo. In the last tier list video, I put Pablo in evil, and everybody despised me for it, and I kept having to give my opinion as to why I thought he was evil. Now that I've played some games, which, by the way, out of the supports, he's picked the least. Cheryl's picked the most, then his Ash is, like, intermediate. Like, I see some people play Ash. Pablo, I've run into only, like, 3 to 5 times, and I played a lot of games so far. It could be because of the missions. He's locked. He's a locked character. You need to unlock him. But it really is also because my opinion still stands. I think he's the worst support character in the game. Look, man. Cheryl's the best, obviously. But, alright, look. So, Evil Dead 1 Ash, he's got his marked target perks, and they're not too great if you're solo queuing, right? But, man, Pablo is a very selfish support unit, because, look, Infernal Camouflage. Is that bad? No. It's great for him. Legacy of El Brujo. Start the match with an amulet. Whatever, dude. Who cares, really, honestly. And I know that supports, whenever they use an amulet, everybody around them gets a little bit of the effect of the amulet, right? So I get that. I don't think it matters much, though, quite honestly, because, like, unless you're Pablo with, like, an Army of Darkness Ash, I don't think that amulets are really that nutty, quite honestly. I think amulets are just whatever. Like, they just kind of prevent the inevitable, and that's your health getting melted by a Henrietta. So, whatever. And then his last perk is alright as well. Like I said, you guys now know how I feel about, like, the shield bars. I think they're fine. I think they're alright. But this is, over time, it'll recover. Whatever. I don't care. He's kind of selfish. His last perk is kind of selfish. And his first perk is kind of... No, it is. It's selfish. And then his main ability, he drops the amulet on the ground. And then you can mark it. And then people will come and pick it up. Whatever. It's not that hard to find an amulet around the map. I feel like he's... You can't, man. You can't. Come on. You're going to tell me he's, like, better than Ash or Cheryl? You definitely can't make an argument against him being better than Cheryl. Because he's not. He's not better than Cheryl. That's not happening. That'll never happen. Unless they give him a huge buff and then they nerf Cheryl to the ground. But, as things stand right now... No one can say he's better than Cheryl. Not a single person can say he's better than Cheryl. Now, people will kind of disagree with me because I did put Ash in good and not even decent. But I put him in good because his main ability and his first perk are really useful to the team. Like, very useful to the team. And then he has his other two perks that help in an actual team where you're talking to people. Pablo's selfish, dude. And it's not, like, bad selfish. Although, I do think that the last perk is kind of whatever. It's, like, I don't know. It's meh. The first one is good. But he's a selfish support unit. He's the worst support unit in the game. Do I think he's evil? No. I may have judged him a little bit too harshly. But, man, he sits right there with Kelly. So, there you have it. I ranked Pablo a little bit higher, because, yeah, I may have been a little bit too harsh on him, I agree. After seeing him a little bit, I agree. I ranked him a little bit too harshly, but I really don't think he's all that great. So, the only ones that stayed the same, Lord Arthur stays in groovy, he's just as great as I thought he was. Cheryl, enough said. Ash Williams, I still think is in that good tier. And Ash Williams from Ash vs. Evil Dead, Annie Knowby, and Scotty, I still think are all just decent characters. Everybody else has shifted for better or for worse. I think Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2 Ash are both nutty characters that I slept on too much. I think Amanda's still really good. It's just I don't think she's as good as like an Evil Dead 2 Ash for Hunter. And Henry the Red is still really good, but you could just choose Army of Darkness Ash, quite honestly. And yeah, Kelly unfortunately isn't as good as I thought she was. I put her in decent last time, but now she's just meh. Because the meat hammer's so bad, and she'll only be a viable character when you actually get her to level 25. And yeah, Ed Getley is awful. So, things have changed, my opinions have changed. I feel like this is a pretty good tier list, honestly. I know some people might say that Ash from Evil Dead 1 should probably go down to decent, and Pablo should probably go up to decent. But I think they're fine where they are, quite honestly. I really do. And there is gonna be like there will be a few people who are like, yo, Ed is great. So screw you for putting him at the bottom tier. But that's how it is. Thank you for watching. I plan on doing more tier lists of this game. I plan on actually playing this game for you guys. I want to do videos. I want to show off Savini Ash, because that's partially why I've been playing Evil Dead 2 Ash, because of the Savini skin. Looks great. So I'd love to do some actual gameplay footage for you guys. I just want to make sure everything is decent with the quality of the video itself. And that'll come around sometime soon. So subscribe if you're new. Give the video a like if you did enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think. I'm so excited to hear what you guys think about this tier list. And I will catch you guys on the flip-flop.